And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is November 25th, 2025. It's Tuesday. Hope you're having a good day. As always, we have a lot to cover. Starting with the last week, we'll call it a nice little whipsaw. For those of you who invested in the Vanguard S&P 30 years ago, you need not worry about anything we have to say because that's been doing pretty darn well. But a lot of jello moving on the plate, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to cover it all. And in case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the Morlocks in D.C., and boy, are they the worst. They're the worst. And anything else that comes to mind. By the way, we hit, I'm told, $39 trillion of debt now. Yeah, sure, right. 39 trillion, 39. I want to make sure you understand. That's $39 trillion over and above what they were supposed to spend. Now imagine if you as an American did that. In my tidbit section of Investor's Edge today we're doing tidbits. It's when I bust out just little 1 or 2 line things on just things that are going on that are quite interesting. You'll hear some of the numbers. And just remember, all done on purpose, one worse than the other. It really started getting amplified under Bush, to Obama, to Trump, to Biden, to Trump. All have lied out their butts about what they would do with their debt and deficits. They're not Republicans. They're not Democrats. You got that? Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Go back and see how much debt we had before the year 2000. And they don't give a crap because it's their mother's milk. The reason why Trump didn't do anything about what Biden did, even though they complained about it for how long, is because if they lowered spending in government, it comes off of GDP, and God forbid. And I know you keep hearing, well, they fired this, that. We're still running $2 trillion deficit this year, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. They are all guilty, and I couldn't give a crap about any of them professionally. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. We'll also post it on the YouTube channel of BizTV. And if you'd like to email me, just be nice. And by the way, for you Trump fans, instead of getting pissed at me, get pissed at him. How's that? Every now and then I get an email. By the way, everybody's been very respectful. Disagreement, but respectful. I've had nobody cursing me out or anything as of yet. But instead of getting mad at others that are telling you facts, get mad at the people that are committing what are not crimes, but should be. And that's that. Hey, we're going to go with the markets. We're going to start with the markets because Dow is up 664, S&P up 60, NASDAQ 153, NASDAQ 144, Russell 2000 more than 2%, transports more than 2%, advanced declines good, up-down volume good, got better throughout the day. The NASDAQ was very weak early because of things that are going on with NVIDIA and advanced micro devices and Google and this stock and that stock. The big story is this. Listen carefully. On Friday, the day after, a vicious, ugly, one of the worst vicious reversals I have ever seen occurred on Thursday with the big NVIDIA drop from the gap opening on their earnings report. out of nowhere, and let me be blunt in saying, out of nowhere, let me say it one more time, out of nowhere, the broad market lit up like a pinball machine on Friday. What do we mean by the broad market? Well, as we've told you for months and months and months, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this, avoid this. Why? They were in downtrends. And recently they had got better. But on Friday, and I even said it felt like something of import. Let's see if this follow through. And we're talking about the restaurants that have been in a brutal bear market, the housing and housing related bear market, the transports, truckers, rails, bear market, most retail, bear market, the payroll companies, bear market, the auto dealers, bear market, managed care, bear market, waste management, bear market, cruise lines, airlines, hotels, bearish market, economically sensitive names, not non-artificial intelligence, bear market, insurance, bearish market, a lot of financials, bearish market, not necessarily big, some things big bears. Our lesser tech page, bearish, with some stocks way down. I'm talking way down. And on Friday, I considered it a wake-up call. But nothing more than that. Because what you always need on the wake-up calls, give me some follow-through. Give me some meaning to it. Let's put a stamp on it. And today, let me just state for the record, was another day where restaurants, economically sensitive, insurance, other financials, airlines, cruise lines, hotels, transports, housing related, waste management, auto dealers, lesser tech, just very strong. To the point where you got some breakouts. You have some breakouts of range, and we're talking long trading ranges in some hotels. One cruise line, and other stuff. Steel stocks look on the verge of breaking out. I got some retail names breaking out of range. Now notice I didn't even mention healthcare yet, because healthcare is actually doing a little bit of leading at this point. So very good broad market day. But what's interesting about me saying this, the Dow, just so you know, is just getting back the last 6 days, last 5 days of drop, including that vicious reversal day. That's all that's happened. The Dow has done nothing in 2 months. And by the way, the Dow, since Thanksgiving of 24, 45,000 to 47,1, 21, not even 5%. Not even 5. But great recovery off of Thursday's nausea. Even more interesting is that tech was getting wrecked again today. Wrecked. Good comeback by the end of the day. And we'll get into that NVIDIA crap in a little bit. But the story is, the broad market 2 out of 3 days awoke. Will it last as we tell you? No clue. We'll let more cards come out of the deck. All we can tell you, damn strong. I can't complain. What's interesting is that the S&P lags the Dow. which is not normal, except the S&P has a lot more tech in it, and tech has been on the weaker side, notwithstanding one big strong day recently. But that's the story. I could not explain it any better, anymore. The bottom line is, you had a wake-up call. Let's hope it lasts. Up next, more on the markets. And Tidbits Day. Got some interesting stuff. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. And may I state for the record, the last week, just the last week, has been stunning. Just the last week. Wild swings, wild moves. Any idea what gives? No. Don't care. When we scan at night, we forget about it all. And that's it. Most earnings, there's other earnings coming out, but the plethora of earnings is already out. We think what's driving a little bit of the bus here is, number one, the Fed. The predictions, at least, of the Fed lowering rates in December, when the predictions were they weren't, have gone from like 20 up to 80 some odd percent. But I think there's something else going on. I think it was leaked that Kevin Hassett, I think his title may be head of economic advisors, will be nominated to be the next Fed head. And as I have told you, whoever he nominates, President Trump, Trump's going to be running the Fed. And I can promise you they're going to do everything they can to take Fed funds rates down to nothing. And let's hope I'm going to be wrong on that. Because if I told you, if they go too easy with an inflationary environment which is not gone yet, they may stoke inflation like crazy again. Just remember, inflation is a monetary outcome. It happens because you have morons running government. And when you do too easy economic policy like Powell did, 0% rates, printing to $9 trillion, he caused the inflation. And there was a direct correlation with inflation coming down when Powell stopped printing and started letting it run off. Now they're going to be doing the opposite, it looks like. I hope I am wrong. I hope I'm big time wrong. Next thing I do want to mention, all this talk. All the talk is of recessions and slowdowns and all that. Well, how can you have a recession when government's spending $7 trillion? But I digress. There's no way anything of consequence is going to occur if the broad market's getting going. Just letting you know. And we know this because the broad market has always flushed out a recession of consequence beforehand. So just letting you know. Of course, I do worry a lot of it's government. Unfortunately, a lot of it. They're going to spend 7 point something this year, kids. And I don't care who it is. They don't really give a crap about us. Just be in power, get elected. Some do better things than others. I'd like to give credit. Oh, we have given credit on certain things. We think the border thing was fantastic by Trump. Fantastic. And just told you how bad Biden was, the worst ever. The worst president ever, and by far Joe Biden. And we've had some bad ones. Now, if only this president. But that's going to be asking too much. And you know what I mean by that. done some great things. But if only. What else? Well, I mentioned to you the areas. Your job is to start paying attention to them. And I must tell you, my job's a little bit tougher. Because for a long while, I did not have to pay attention to them at all. I just watch them go lower and lower and lower and lower. And by the way, still not the home builders bouncing up here, actually a strong day. Not in a bull market, it's a recovery, but a pretty good recovery. I'm looking for leadership, best stuff. And leadership right now, you're getting some in healthcare, and you got some retail breakouts. Ralph Lauren, Ross Stores. And I gather more will show up. Hotels, Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt. And by the way, we're not telling you to buy, sell, short, or cover. Do your own thinking, do your own work. We're just letting you know. They're out there setting up and moving out. Will they fail? Don't know. Will they succeed? Don't know. Because we don't know. We've seen a lot of breakouts fail in the recent past. So we can be hopeful and see how it goes. Typically, the best stock is the first one to break out. And guess what? In retail apparel, Ralph Lauren just broke out. It's already up about 4% in 2 days. That was the guinea pig. Now we'll see if others follow suit. Good volume on it today also. So that's the story. Other things today, crypto is again down. MicroStrategy down another $6 today. I've never seen a CEO so sanguine about people losing their money. And we want to remind you that MSTU, a 2x MicroStrategy, has gone from $33 down to $1. We have warned you about the 2s and the 3s and the 4s. Do you know there are 5x ETFs now? You know what that means? If you put all your money in a 5x ETF and it drops 20%, you lose all your money. You do know that, right? You do know that, right? And the opposite is true if it works out. It pisses me off that Wall Street has even allowed it. It's worse than a casino on some of these things. Regional banks. Haven't had to mention them in a long while. When you have a chance, go look at the KRE, Regional Bank ETF. It's done nothing. But it broke back above the 50-day moving average today, which is a first start. But I mean, when I say it's done nothing, I mean it's done nothing. Do you know the KRE, the Regional Bank Index, was $51.06. It's 63 today. It's up 20% in 19 years. Let's be generous. I can't be. It's down since 2018. Just another tidbit. Up next, what drove the Dow? And Tidbits Day. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, to give you an idea about the Dow, Home Depot today was up probably around 90 Dow points. It was up $14.50. Stock has been trashed, but it rallied $14.50 today. Even though they missed numbers, gave bad guidance. Why is it rallying? The market's changed. It's buying back up. It's buying into, for this second, the housing and housing related. Remember, market over sectors over stocks. That's how it works. But that gives you an understanding. The worst stock in the Dow, up almost, I got about 90 Dow points today. And then you can go through the rest, which takes me to NVIDIA, one of the 3 stocks down. In case you don't know, NVIDIA dropped today $4.73, and that was after being down about 12. Hold on. It hit 169.55. It was down $13 at one time. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, actually hit that. So here's the story. Facebook, Meta, looks like they're going to buy their chips through Google and not NVIDIA, which would hurt AMD, help Broadcom, hurt Taiwan Semiconductor, who makes the NVIDIA chips. And NVIDIA came out and defended themselves today. And NVIDIA's down $1 in the aftermarket, too. NVIDIA completely failed its big earnings report. Let me teach you capitalism, ladies and gentlemen, and this should be the worry for everybody who owns NVIDIA. And this is not a prediction, but how capitalism works. When you are the head honcho, top dog, big cheese, when you're the grand poobah, everybody else sees what you're doing. And you know what they all try to do? Come up with something better, faster, quicker, cheaper. There's the problem for NVIDIA. And I am promising you, across the world, the word isn't they are being attacked, but that is a big issue. Especially when I'm reading that they charge a lot and others are charging less. And when I'm reading that the new ones actually look better or work better, then we'll see. Watch the stock. That'll tell you everything. NVIDIA's stock under pressure right now was much worse today. Lucky that the market had a good day. Because I got news for you. That sucker was getting yanked. The other part is it's so over-owned, over-loved, over-leveraged. So we'll watch it and see. We do not own it right now. No reason to. That reversal just took us out of the competition. There's your NVIDIA. And for those, we pay a lot of attention to people that we believe are pretty darn smart. Pretty darn smart. And I'm going to read something to you. The crews in Abilene, Texas, of course, are assembling 8 different data center buildings spanning around 4 million square feet. The campus will ultimately draw up to 1.2 gigawatts of power, or enough juice for about 1 million homes. Lining the insides will be around 500,000 NVIDIA chips stuffed into dense racks requiring constant cooling. Financially, the venture depends heavily on Oracle, which has leased it for 15 years. Oracle, in turn, will rely on a single customer, Sam Altman's OpenAI, for some $300 billion in long-term revenues. Meanwhile, Oracle is buying chips from NVIDIA, which has committed $100 billion to OpenAI. There's your circular vendor financing in a nutshell, and why Oracle stock has gone from 345 to under 200. Think about this. In order for Oracle to do all this, they're going to rely on one customer, which is OpenAI, and needs $300 billion in long-term revenue. And they're committed to buying chips from NVIDIA, which is committed to $100 billion giving to OpenAI. This is the type of crap that brought down 99. I'm not saying it's going to again, but this is a sore thumb. And all I can tell you is Oracle stock has acted in kind. And I haven't even mentioned all the debt. Just letting you know. We hope it works out. We do not like failure. We like success. We are quite capitalists here. And we want nothing but good news. Good news today, oil dropped almost $1 and yields were down again. And it's good to see. Again, the big story, the broad market, very good day today. 2 out of 3. And we think it's got a shot, it'll go for a bit. And there's your story today. Not much more I can tell you on the markets. Some weak tech early bounce by the end of the day. We'll see if that can follow through. I noticed some of the software security stocks bouncing good, but now Zscaler, ZS is down $23 in the aftermarket. So that be dead. Earnings. And again, there's some more earnings to come out, but not much. Again, Thursday, we're off. Friday, we're off. Happy Thanksgiving to all. If able, think about doing something for somebody you need absolutely nothing from. Do you know my wife was in the Starbucks line today? And some person was backing up on her and almost hit my wife and came out the window and apologized and then paid for my wife's order, which, by the way, came to $28. Doing something for somebody you need absolutely nothing from. That's a good idea. Pay for the person behind you. If you're online. Little something. You see an elderly couple in the supermarket in front of you that, want to put a smile on their face, just walk over and put your credit card on the thing and just walk. Give a wink to the cashier. Don't say a word. Boom. Little things. If able, do something for someone you need absolutely nothing from. I still can't figure out where I heard that line from. It was like in the 70s. Tidbits. It's that point where we just have a bunch of things printed out and we'll start. U.S. states with the highest state income tax. California 13.3, Hawaii 11, New York 10.9, New Jersey 10.75, Oregon 10, Minnesota 9.85, Massachusetts 9, Vermont 8.75, Wisconsin 7.65, Maine 7.15, California 13.3. They hate you there. They hate you. On top of that, go look at the gas tax in California. They hate you there. They use the fact that California is a beautiful state with great weather, coastline up and down. Beautiful. National parks, redwoods up north. What do you got? Yosemite? San Diego. And what do? They screw you because they hate you. Gavin Newsom hates you in California. Up next, tidbits. The rest of the show. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. All right. Welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Tidbits. 98% of Warren Buffett's current net worth came after he turned 65. I just turned 65. We're unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. California, unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. Pentagon, unable to track $2.3 trillion of military spending. U.S. Treasury, unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. Just letting you know. Just letting you know, March 7th at 23, I'm not going to mention who. I believe NVIDIA was 300. NVIDIA will be $100 stock in less than a year. What is it, up to 2,000? Just letting you know what somebody put out. Apartheid. Israel accused of apartheid. There are 400 mosques in Israel, 83 are located in Jerusalem. The number of mosques in Israel increased fivefold since 1988, where there were only 80. Apartheid. Howard Marks, a genius on the market. We're skipping around. When you buy the S&P 500 at a 23 times PE, your 10-year annualized return has always fallen between -2 and 2%. We're at 25 right now. We'll see. Central banks are cutting rates as if there is a recession. Central banks have cut rates 312 times over the last 24 months, the fastest pace since 2010. Just letting you know. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman was asked how a company with $13 billion in revenues can have commitments of $1.4 trillion. Instead of answering the question, Altman said to Brad Gerstner, an investor, "Happy to find a buyer for your shares." What, me worry? Comparisons, 30 to 50-year mortgage. On a 30-year mortgage, the monthly payment $23.98. On a 50-year, $21.06. You save $292 a month. Loan cost, when all said and done, add $400,000. PayPal, just letting you know, they are saying spending has decelerated in the U.S. Just letting you know. Norway's wealth tax, expected to raise $146 million, led to a $448 million net loss, as $54 billion in wealth left the country. Hey, let's do a wealth tax. World's reliance on China for rare earth metals. Brazil gets 97% of its rare earths from China, followed by Turkey, Germany, and UK at 93, 91, 89. The U.S. imports 78% of all theirs. Technology bonds are getting hit hard. Oracle's $3.5 billion of 30-year debt issued in September has created 8%. Meet the 2025 United Nations Human Rights Council. Cuba, Qatar, China, Sudan, Algeria, Bolivia, Kuwait, Burundi, Vietnam, Kyrgyzstan, Bangladesh, Democratic Republic of Congo. What's our motto here? The UN sucks. General Motors, accumulated losses totaling approximately $10 billion over the years from its cruise robo-taxi division. Bye-bye. The World Bank has announced they misplaced a staggering $41 billion in climate change funds. You think anybody's going to jail? No, they're all living in villas on Lake Como. Seriously. Nobody gives a crap about anything. $41 billion World Bank. Climate change funds. What did we tell you about climate change? It's a freaking scam. It's a hoax. It's a lie. It's all about money. They had to come up with something to scare the living crap out of people, so morons like that Greta turns the Venice canals green. And Al Gore's worth how much? 200, 300 million? While in 1982 told us Florida be underwater? Ass clown. Last month, the Taliban banned women from speaking in public. This month, they will be invited to attend the UN climate conference. The UN. What's my motto? The UN sucks. Over the past 10 years, the U.S. government tax revenue has increased 60%. Our money has increased 60% to them. Their spending has increased 95%. Who pays for tariffs? Studies consistently found that 80% of the China tariff costs during Trump 1.0 were borne by U.S. entities. From the administration, they told us Micron is going to put $200 billion into whatever. Micron's market cap is $121 billion, and last year it generated $386 million in cash flow. What did we tell you about all the promises to the president? They're blowing smoke. They know he's going to be gone in 3 years. God bless the president coming out and saying, we have $20 trillion in commitments. $20 trillion. No, they don't. You know what a commitment is? Something that's going to get done? There's no way. Unfortunately. Apple. Do you know Apple has bought back $700 billion in stock over the past 10 years, which is greater than the market cap of 488 companies in the S&P 500? That's amazing. And, of course, leads to higher earnings. And I think that's about it. Those were some good tidbits, huh? Controversial, but good. Anyway, have a great evening. Drive carefully. If able, think about doing something for somebody you need absolutely nothing from. Until tomorrow, make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. I'm going to do more tidbits tomorrow. Peace out, all. Good night.